Is it good?
So good.
Please tell me you're recording.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. What kind of pizza is it?
Who fucking gives a fuck, bro? Cheese, tomato. I don't actually know. Right. 1, 2, 3.
Egg. Or should I
Again.
say pizza? Okay.
1, 2, 3. Pizza.
Pizza. All right. I think we're all synced up now. What a delicious treat you have there. I think Rice left as well to go get some pizza pie from his mama.
Mm-hmm.
So, welcome back to Garphonomics, the world's best official, unofficial, Garfield-based, I was going to say socioeconomics, politics, podcast, whatever. But I'm just going to say it's just the best Garfield-based podcast in existence, period. Forget everything else. It's just the best Garfield-based podcast. Go find one that's better. I dare you. Okay. Ben, how are you doing today? We've got the computer expert with me. He's enjoying his dinner.
Onion ring.
We love an onion ring.
I'm doing fine.
Okay.
I left my food out for too long, so now it's not lukewarm, it's not room temperature, it's like less than lukewarm but not cold. I don't like it.
Yeah. Usually I'd throw it in the microwave at that point.
But pizza from the microwave freaks me out.
Why?
Because it comes out soggy, but also impossibly hot. I don't like it.
Well, you know what I do is I'll throw it in the oven even, and that'll crisp it up and reheat it at the same time.
That's really interesting. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was a computer
Ovens
expert.
can
What's
also-
up? Last time we did. Shut up.
I just want to say ovens can also be used to bake lasagna. Okay, continue.
Damn it.
Garfield.
So
Uh-huh.
last time you heard this beautiful, wonderful voice, I had a job. I got fired.
That's right.
So good.
He's fun employed.
Yeah. Please subscribe to the Patreon.
500 pounds to his name. Save him from the poorhouse by subscribing to the Patreon. We are not joking. I stole... That was completely serious. I stole another Wall Street Journal from my office last week. So this is some old news. I was mentioning earlier, by the way, I just now noticed on the front cover of this that this single issue of this newspaper it costs $5. So I don't know what kind of freak is subscribing to the Wall Street Journal and paying $5 per, daily newspaper. That's psychotic. It should be like 25
How do
cents.
they print the newspaper?
There's something called the printing press that I believe was invented in Germany in like the 1200s or something, the 1300s.
No, I mean, it's just like in my head, right?
Yeah.
When you're making.
Oh, I don't like being in your head. I'm getting back out of your head. Go ahead. Go ahead with the thoughts in your head.
When the when a book's being printed, some ancient monk would take a bunch of little, letter stamps and organize them in like a template, and then use that template to put ink onto a piece of paper.
Yes.
And they would do that, and then that's how you got 200 copies of a book or whatever. They would do that for every single page, and then by the end of it, you'd have like a cool book. But with like newspapers, especially with the Boston Bugle. What's the one you've got?
I've got the Wall Street Journal here. Very close. You were very close. Good guess.
I'm pretty sure that's from Fallout.
Is it?
I think so.
I'll take your word for it.
The the print is like so small that I don't think a ancient monk would be able to fit that many stamps into that area. So how the hell did they do it? And also it's like it's a weekly newspaper. So
Yeah. I think this one that I've got is daily.
How did they do it?
It's insane. Brother,
yeah,
you're asking the wrong guy. I don't even know how it gets there. I come off the elevator on the 13th floor. I see it laying literally on the ground, just on the carpet. I don't know who it's for. I assume it's not for me since I'm not ordering it. But I swipe my badge, turn around to leave. Wait, no, I swipe my badge, I go in, steal a coffee, turn around to leave, and work from home. And I press the little elevator button to go back down, look around, make sure nobody's looking, and then snatch the newspaper and run in the elevator as the doors are closing. And that's about the extent of my knowledge of the printing process.
Printing press?
Yeah, of the printing press, is that newspapers just appear on the floor of your office building. Nobody knows how they get there.
Do you work on the 13th floor?
I do work on the 13th floor.
Very foreboding.
The elevator, I did not even realize that. That is a very unlucky number. And the elevators are very scary and also the only way to travel between the floors. I got yelled at by a police officer, a security guard, for using the stairwell one time because it's for emergencies only. You have to use the elevator.
What emergency requires someone to sprint up 82 flights of stairs?
Well, I was going down. The elevator was taking way too long. I thought it was busted, so I just took the stairs down. Because I didn't want to pay for parking. I had to get out of there soon.
Oh, see, I don't know what Mark, right, and
he was like, we've got a situation. All the doors were locked, and I got to the ground floor, and I saw a cop, come through the door, and he was speaking into his walkie-talkie, and he was like, I found him. And I was like, what? And he's like, did you just come from the 13th floor? And I was like, yep.
Did you just walk downstairs?
Yeah. He was like, these stairs are for emergencies only. I'm going to need your name and where you work. And I was like, all right. Didn't know that. But I don't like the elevators.
My name is Bradley. I work on the 13th floor. I steal newspaper.
My name is Brad. I steal coffee and snacks and office supplies from my 13th floor job. But you know what the thing is that really pisses me off though is the elevators are really scary. I would much rather just walk up 13 flights of stairs because the elevators, there's no inspection sticker from the last time they were updated or inspected. I have no idea when the last time they were inspected. Some of them, the screen doesn't work. Some of them creak and jiggle very violently up and down. Very scary experience.
You're going to have to follow me on this because I don't really know what causes an elevator to feel scary. But I just know that sometimes you walk into those elevators that seem to only be able to fit 4 people.
Yeah.
Maximum.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, and you when you're walking up to the elevator, there's maybe an inch gap where you can see the death pit below.
Yes.
And
I can see the whole shaft all the way down.
You stand in it, and it doesn't feel very secure. You feel like you could wiggle left and right and bust it off the rails and die if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, you can jostle it around just by yourself. Just by walking into it, it jostles to and fro.
And then you hit the button and then the doors close and then it scrapes you up or down.
Yes.
With its ancient pulley system.
Yes, the squeaking and
using water. Using water and 3 triple knotted ropes.
Yeah, once upon a time, a great and ancient sorcerer made this device, and it has not been upkept since. You're right on the screeching and creaking. It screams as it takes me up to the 13th floor, and it jiggles around. And some of them, the screens are clearly busted. And I think the other day, I hit the button to get to my floor. And it just didn't work, and I ended up just having to hold the button pressed, and then it took me all the way up. I just had to continuously have my hand pressed on it. And I
like
immediately jumped out when it got to the floor because I was afraid if I took my finger off of it, it would just
collapse.
Drop. Yeah.
No, like, genuinely, like, the elevator does not know where it is, and it's scary. You're just like, where do you think we are right now, Mr. Elevator? And it's like, ground, floor, ground, floor. You're like, brother, we're on the 4th floor. Please take me to the 2nd one. And it's like, cannot go down, ground. You're like,
brother, we are on top of the building. I can see all the people down below like ants. Ants beneath my feet.
I went to this really fancy hotel one time. And by the way, all these fancy hotels, they are infamous for having these ridiculously ancient elevators that are very scary.
Yeah.
Like, see all the trolley boys, I don't know how they get on these elevators with like 18 suitcases and don't sign their life away. Just like, yeah, this is it. This is the one, it's gonna snap. But I went on this elevator and I literally walked in, it done boom, and the doors opened. And I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, it was clattering off the sides and all that. And I just like pressed the button, and then the doors like kind of closed halfway and then opened again, and then closed halfway, then opened again, and then finally closed. And then it took me, and also the like old elevators, like see new elevators, it's like 0 to 5 miles an hour straight away, isn't it? Like the acceleration's like
yeah, they're like,
and then it stops.
Yeah.
But the
your
old
stomach drops a
like,
little bit on the ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like really, really slow, gradual increase of speed, and then like a very abrupt stop once it gets to where it's supposed to go.
Yes.
And I was all weirded out because they were using you know those like is it halogen or like just those really old lights that make everything like gross and yellow.
Yes.
And that was like flickering, and I'm just in this I'm in this like red velvet carpeted elevator, and it's just like scraping along, and then I get to my floor and the doors don't open, and then when the lady's supposed to say like, you know, you've reached your destination or like floor 4,
she said welcome to hell.
No, the speaker, I'm not even joking, the speaker like popped on, so it was like and it like startled me, and then it was just like a slow static hiss from like low volume to high volume, and then it like off again.
Oh,
so it was
my
like
God.
And then the doors opened. I was like and then I used the stairs from then on in.
The phasmophobia ghost hissing in your ear happened, and then you got let off your floor. Wow. I 100% would have thought I was I was dying. Like I was on my way to hell or something. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it's like to die, but I've heard that it's very like hallucinogenic and it feels very real. And if that happened to me, I would have assumed that maybe I had earlier that day been hit by a car and I'm in a hospital bed somewhere. And this is just me realizing I'm dying and taking an elevator down to hell right now.
I just don't understand how these elevators, first of all, say on them it's like, oh, there's like a 850 kilogram weight limit, but as soon as you step in them, it feels like it's barely able to handle you.
Yeah.
And then second of all, at what point does an elevator become so irreparably broken and unable to function that like an official elevator agency has to step in and be like, listen, this is a hazard, you have to fix this? Like, at what point does OSHA come in and be like, hey, what's going on?
Well, that's what I want to know, because there's usually here like they have to be inspected like every 6 months or a year or something, and the inspector like slaps a big old sticker on the inside of the elevator that says,
elevator good.
This elevator good was inspected on blah 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 date, will be inspected again on such and such date. But the elevators at my work, there's no such sticker. And no, sometimes the screens work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you have to hold the button, sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's a lot of creaking and a lot of jostling around, and there is no indication that this has ever been inspected, and you are not allowed to use the stairs. So very cool. Very cool indeed.
Do you think you're not allowed to use the stairs because the stairs are in bad condition, and if someone happens to twist their ankle and fall down them, then like your company could lose lots of money?
Maybe. I think it's more of a security thing than anything. But it can't be. I don't understand that, because anybody could just take the elevator too. So how could it be a security thing?
I don't know. Maybe someone can sit in the stairwell and spend 2 hours creating a bomb. I don't get it. Have they got stairway inspectors? Is there a man with a flashlight and a bobby hat and a baton going up and down the stairs?
They must have security cameras in there, because the moment I got to the ground floor and I tried the door, first of all the doors are locked. Once you're in this stairwell, you cannot get out of the stairwell. Every door is locked. You are locked in the stairwell. And when I got to the ground floor and I tried it was locked. I was like, fuck. So I kind of backed away and I was like, well, what do I do? And then the door opened and a police officer came in and he was like, I found him.
An AR-15.
Yeah, he was like,
break.
I got him.
And an IR device.
Yeah.
Found him.
Found the culprit. And he was like, you came from the 13th floor? And I was like, anyways. Not gonna do that again.
No, it's I guess maybe it's like obviously stairs in like a fire in a fire scenario, like are cool, good and excellent, right? That's fine, that's fair.
Yeah. But otherwise maybe you can trip and sue.
I don't know, but all of the doors leading into a stairwell, they're always fire door. By the way, I learned this in my other job. I can't believe I remembered this.
Oh yeah.
But every single door leading into a stairwell is always normally a fire door, because basically what stairwells are supposed to be is they're supposed to be like safe zones for people. So like if you can get out of the office and into a stairwell during some sort of fire, you're basically safe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you have to keep all the doors closed and sealed, because if one of them's popped open, then the whole entire stairwell's compromised. But why can't you use them? And also, why are they forcing you to go on like an elevator?
Why are they forcing me to go on a hellish elevator ride?
Yeah,
it's scary.
That's what I'm wondering,
because
if it was like a lawsuit thing, I feel like the elevator's probably got a higher probability than like a stairwell. Or maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it has a lower probability, but think about it this way. If the elevator falls especially from the 13th floor, you most assuredly are going to not survive that. Whereas if you trip down the stairwell, you could survive.
Hey. Why is it,
why do you keep getting yelled at?
They must just sense that I'm doing something.
I think they can sense you're doing something important. Yeah.
Yeah, important and great and productive.
That's something cool that
high quality.
Yeah, that's something cool that all people do is they'll be like, oh, you do a podcast? When do you do it? And I'm like, oh, at this time and that time. And they're like, okay, great. Well, we will be around exactly at that time to perform all of these various functions around your apartment. And we're going to be very loud. So I understand. Anyways, that was a long intro about how scary elevators are and how you shouldn't use them. But also about how I stole a $5 newspaper, and we're going to read the news from it. Are you ready? Are you ready, Ben? Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I need to get a soundboard for this already. I need some sounds like clapping and cheering from the audience. Because I think when you listen back to it, nobody knows when to laugh or when to clap. And I need to get a soundboard in.
I know, but I can make your life hell right now, because I can say put a fart noise here, and then you're gonna have to add it. And then now I'm gonna say add some diarrhea dookie pops over me talking right now for no reason. And then like a gunshot with like a cowboy saying "Wow!" or whatever. So now that's like, now you have
kind of
to
like
do
a
that.
Mario cowboy. It kind of sounded like wahoo. Anyways.
I just ruined whenever you're gonna edit this.
I'm gonna edit this right after I do it because I'm going on vacation tomorrow morning. So I have a long night ahead of me.
Okay, in that case,
Let's
can you
read
add the
news.
SpongeBob boo womp sound? You know, the bromp. Can you add that?
The bwomp.
There you go.
Bwomp.
There you go.
Yeah, that one.
That's to let everyone know that's like sad.
Yeah. Well, and I want to have like live studio audience noises, so like people going "oh" or like, you know what I mean, like reacting. The sign says "say ah." Yeah, just exactly like
no
that.
one's gonna be able to hear that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the listeners at home, Ben played a really funny noise on Discord that none of you can hear. It was a noise. Now he's playing duck noises. Great. And horns. Those are the kinds of noises that I want on my soundboard. Anyways.
Well, you've got that voice mod thing. See the voice box thing that I told you about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I could use that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, next time, folks, you're going to get sounds. Next time, we are going to probably have a soundboard. I forgot about voice box. And
yeah, you big fuckhead.
Let's get into the news, Garf heads. That's what you really want. Let's go.
No.
Yes, sir. Put down.
What's up, Garf heads? Back at it again with another news segment.
Garfonomics heads out there, put down your Monster Energy drinks. Put down your second pack of Camel Lights, and just bear with me.
Drink your Soylent.
You will be able to drink all of the beers in the fridge in 30 minutes after you're done listening. Do not listen to this program while intoxicated. But we do have a special treat for you. We have a 24-pack of Miller High Life in your fridge right now as a reward for listening to the entire episode. Let's get into the news. Hunter Biden gets indicted on federal firearm charges. Ben, what do you think about this?
He have gone when he shouldn't have. That's naughty.
You can't. Again, you can't do that, and neither can he. He has...
The powers that be say no blicky.
He said, we could do a South African accent. Tell him he can't have a blicky in a South African accent.
Oh no, Hunter Biden, you can't have blicky. That's against the law.
Yeah, that's
Hunter
perfect.
Biden, don't do that.
That's really good. Yeah, I feel
So
like
what does indicted mean? Does that mean you get like?
Shut up. I feel like I'm in Cape Town.
Johannesburg.
All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I'm in Johannesburg. I'm in Johannesburg right now. Your mall's poos.
So what does
Anyways.
indicted mean? What does indicted mean? Does that mean you get like football tackled by like the police and then they like taser you and then send you to jail? Like, what does indicted mean?
No, it just means like it means like a prosecutor or something. Like some court has like been like, yup, you
someone
did
points
that.
a finger at you.
Yeah, they're like, you did it. It's confirmed, and now you may go to jail. But
crazy.
you know what? I really don't know what the difference between if you're indicted, do you go to court or no? I've always been confused on this. Because I've never heard of somebody getting indicted and then going to court. Or do you go to court first and then you get indicted? How does that work? Who cares? This is a show about Garfield, not legal jargon. Legal proceedings.
I don't. So Hunter Biden, is he the funny guy that had that really cool laptop?
Yeah, he had a lot of cool things on him. Yeah.
And did he get indicted for any of that?
No. The smoking meth and crack on camera while jacking off is all of that was like fine. he loves to do that. He's allowed to do that. I don't think that should be illegal. I think you should be allowed to film yourself smoking meth and jacking off in a sensory deprivation chamber. I think that's fine. But he did
sensory
buy
deprivation being some stinky hotel room.
So no, literally, he did it once in a hotel room that I remember, and then there was another time when he literally went into a sensory deprivation chamber, and then started smoking crack and jacking off and filming it.
Right?
He's a cool guy, but he bought guns when he shouldn't have. But this is from like 2018, so this is like 5 years ago. They're finally getting him on this illegal firearm possession charge, and I'm guessing it's illegal because he's a felon or something. That would be my guess. What do you think?
I don't really know him personally. I mean, all I've seen is the cool pictures of him.
You've had a couple beers
all
with
the
him.
beautiful,
Yeah,
and all the beautiful princesses that he enjoys
Yeah.
taking pictures of. And
he likes
looking
the
at.
ladies. Yeah. He's a ladies' man.
But personally, I think probably, I mean, well, what's considered a legal gun purchase? Is it just kind of like you go into a gun shop and you're like, I want a gun, and then they're like, are you mentally insane? And you say, no, and they're like, okay, and then later they find out you're mentally insane.
Yeah, that's
Is
one.
that how it works?
That would be one illegal gun purchase. Yeah. I think it's also illegal to purchase a firearm if you're a convicted felon, which means that
that's no fun.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, what if they like? So what?
I mean-
I murdered a guy 30 years ago. I can't buy a gun anymore. What the fuck?
I mean, but like, imagine you're just some little like schmeagle loser, and you done
Yeah.
like blue collar crime, and now you can't have a cool gun.
That would be really funny. What if I like they got me on a RICO charge for lying on my taxes, and now I can no longer own any of my beautiful firearms?
Yeah. Yeah, they like kick down your door and they're like taking your tax return forms and all that, but then they're also taking like Ian Mossberg and Glock, and you're like, oh,
I'm like, come on, dude. I love those.
I love those. I wasn't gonna shoot and kill everyone in my office.
I wasn't gonna retaliate
Guys.
against the government for busting me on my taxes. Come on.
Have you seen all those? Have you seen all of those funny TikToks where it's like the ATF's doing a no knock warrant and I'm holding the nastiest peak known to man?
Yes, I have seen those.
I love them.
Oh my
I
god.
love them.
Did you know that there was a flooding going on in Libya? Were
Who
you aware of
cares? If it's
What
not
are you talking about? Who
happening right
cares?
next to me, who
There's
cares?
people dying, Ben. There's people
Exactly.
dying. They're drowning. What do you mean, who cares? Death toll soars past 11,000 in Libya flooding.
It's kind of poo-poo feces that like that. You'll never hear about that at all, ever. Like the only reason why
These are
you've heard about
massive
that is
casualties, by the way. Like 11,000
Yeah, I
people
know.
dying of a flood. That's insane. How are we only hearing
crazy.
about this now? I didn't even know it was happening.
And I bet you're reading it on this newspaper, and it's literally been given one paragraph, and that's it.
You are correct. It is.
Yeah,
it's
it's
on
just
the
tiny.
front. It's on the front page of the newspaper, with a big old picture. But it's really just a captioned image. Oh no! Wait, hold on. It continues on page A16, which I will not be turning to. So
It's
there
like
might.
choose your own disaster adventure.
That is
Choose
how.
your own depression.
That is kind of cool that that's how newspapers work, is they give you like a little bit on the front page and they're like, if you want to hear more about this, turn to page blah, blah, blah. And then you can read the rest. But like, that's kind of nice.
I always thought newspapers were quite funny because I always felt like I was pirating newspapers whenever I went into like a magazine shop, because I would just take it off of the stand and like read 5 pages and be like, and then put it back.
I am pirating newspapers. I'm literally stealing these.
Yeah,
Literally.
pirated newspaper.
I do not know who this who's paying $5 for this, but once a
So
week
what
it
caused the
does
flood?
not they do not get it, and I wonder if they're like, huh, where's my newspaper? This keeps happening.
So
What's
what
going on?
caused the flood? And don't say water.
I think it's just climate change, my buddy pal. I think this sort of thing is
climate change.
I think this sort of thing is gonna just become more and more common. They had a bunch of flooding in Vermont, like historic flooding in Vermont. Like a whole town was underwater for like a little bit a while ago. I think this is just gonna be a kind of thing that it just happens now, is that places get flooded, you know?
I don't want to sound like a big loser or whatever, right? But
Yeah.
there's been lots of over the last 5 or 6 years, I've really sat down and thought about whether or not where I am currently is like geographically sound. If and when some sort of horrific, like tidal event happens.
Oh, dude,
and
I do the same thing.
Geographically,
Same
I'm on like a high point, so I'm safe. If any
Okay,
flooding
good.
occurs, it's not going to happen where I am.
Do you freak out about being close to like a fresh source of water?
Yeah, I
I do.
do.
I do because I live
But
in stinky ass Texas, where like there really is no source of fresh water. Like all the lakes in Texas are man made. There's no natural like lakes here, and they're all stinky and like poo poo water. They are not good for drinking. They usually contain brain eating amoebas and blue algae, which will, if it so much as touches your dog will die within 1 hour.
explode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Texas lakes are no good. So I keep trying to convince my wife to let us move to the Great Lakes so that I could just, in case of a horrific climate event, I can just run down to Lake Michigan with a big straw and just, drink my fill.
Slip up.
Yeah.
I live next to like near a river or whatever, but the river's like so poo coloured and gross looking that I don't think you would be able to do anything with it. But I feel like there's a few spots on the river that aren't chocolate and poo coloured, so I'd be okay.
You might be able to filter it.
I think I don't know if we've spoken about this before, but did you know it's illegal to collect and use rainwater in the UK?
It is in some parts of the US as well.
I don't mean like illegal as in they'll like you'll go to jail for it, but like say if you politely ask your like local council that you're gonna collect rainwater and you promise not to drink it, they'll be like, okay. But if you do it without informing anyone, then it's like considered a naughty bad, which I think is very strange. Also,
the places in the US where you're not allowed to do it, it kind of makes sense. It's usually like places near the desert, because like if you collect the rainwater, it doesn't make it down to the water table. So you're kind of like siphoning off like a town's water supply basically by collecting rainwater. It kind of makes sense. And the government will get you if they see a rain.
And then the
barrel.
other thing that freaks me out a little bit is the fact that more often than not, rainwater is not potable from the sky.
No, listen to me. If you live in Denton,
me.
Texas, you live in DFW, put a bucket outside your house when it rains. And then after the rain is done, I want you to go out there and tell me what color the water in that bucket is.
Make sure it's a nice opaque white bucket, so you can really see all the gross bits.
It is like dark brown. Rainwater in the DFW area is dark brown. You cannot drink it. Nobody will convince me it's drinkable.
I mean, it makes sense that, the water that evaporates in an area and gets condensed into a cloud, and then that cloud keys out rain. Obviously, that cloud consists of like CO2 emissions, exhaust fumes, factory particulates, all that stuff.
The pollutants in the air.
But it's still very confusing to me, because I've got like a little smooth 5-year-old brain, and I'm like, the rain come from the sky, so it should be okay because it hasn't touched this this tarnished and ruined soil yet.
Yeah.
But the joke's on me because it's touched the tarnished and ruined soil about 800 times over.
Yeah, it's also touched the tarnished and ruined atmosphere as well. The sky, the dirty sky, just as dirty as the ground.
We were talking about climate change for a second, and there was a thing. Oh, that's what I was doing. So I'm not. and I think this is a thing that me and Goblin, wait, did I call it, wait, shit, are you Goblin?
You can call me Goblin, you can call me Brad, you can call me Garfinomics.
Oh.
Call me whatever you want.
I'm not gonna call you Garfinomics, that's
Call me
blasphemous.
Dr. Mexico, please.
drmexico.gay. Go visit that website.
Sure. Yeah, go to, that's also my Twitter handle, my personal Twitter handle. drmexico.gay. Call me whatever you want.
But
baby.
I was, okay, so this is a thing that
Call me by your
and
name.
him disagree on.
What?
But I feel that, actually, is it a thing that we disagree on? I guess we're about
What
to
is
find
it?
out.
Yeah, let's find out.
See people, God, I can't even, what's the word? Yeah, see protests and like sit downs and walkouts. I think they're extremely ineffective and silly.
No, I agree.
Oh, okay, so it must have been someone else then.
Yeah,
but
I think the only
I was thinking about this with climate.
I think the only solution to things like this is violence. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's like if a big CEO is like puffing on a fat cigar, watching like poison rain pour down on like people and seeing their like skin disintegrate, but his big fat bank account is going up. Like some people outside his office with signs and yelling at him and trying to shame him and whatever. He is going to think about it for 0.5 seconds and then be like, all right, I got to get rid of these guys. And then he's going to send security to remove you. And then he's never going to think about it again. He's going to go home. He's going to get on his yacht and have a couple of drinks. Now, imagine this. Big fat CEO, big fat cigar, watching the acid rain burn all the babies in the street. Somebody comes in there with a fucking gun and throws him out of the 20th story of the office building, and he splats
and says, I'm
on
the new
ground.
CEO.
and says, let this be a warning. I will do this to the next CEO if you continue to do this. Then, I think things might be a little bit different. But that's just my opinion.
That's just my opinion. No, I was actually thinking about
think.
it. I was pondering one cold night, and I was thinking, remember when, and I can't remember the origin, right? But
yeah.
I'm just going to assume that this is how it worked because it backs up my theory.
Sure, yeah. That's exactly how I like to
Source.
think. Yeah. Source, it was revealed to me in a dream.
Yeah. So, like, one company decided to switch from plastic straws to paper straws, and they, like, spoke about how it, like, eco it is and how bad plastic straws are and blah, 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 whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their profits soared. Everybody's public image, their public image was improved tenfold, and it was like an overnight success for this company or whatever. And then every single other company saw that and was like, damn, I want to get in on that. I want the public to think that, that we're cool, hip, and eco. So then everyone else done it. And the only reason my company's done that, and the only reason why there was a change from plastic straws to paper straws, which to be honest doesn't really, it's a negligible impact on the environment, TBHM8. But the only reason why they done something like that was because of public image and profits. So,
yeah. I just want to interject for a second and say, you're completely correct. Like, one celebrity's private jet ride, like one of their private jet rides somewhere, completely outweighs like the impact of all of the paper straw stuff. Like all of it. It just completely overshadows it with the harm that it does. All right, go on.
So, what I was thinking was, is if, because basically so what I've realised is the unfortunate reality is the only way that you're going to see change when it comes to being eco-friendly is from these big, large conglomerate companies. And that's the only change that you're going to see. Like, see me spending 3 minutes of my day cleaning out a can of tomatoes and putting it in the right recycling bin. That doesn't do anything.
No.
Right? So the only way that you're going to see big impacts and changes is from these massive companies. So what my game theory was, my dream, right, was what if there was a this has, hopefully it happens, but what if there was like a cultural shift in people's opinion and views of companies that completely depended on what they done to help the environment, like basically like a scoreboard. Like people, like what happened, like what if you could go onto a website that was like isthiscompany.bad.com, and
Oh,
like,
you can.
you would go on
that
to,
already exists.
well, no, I know, but I mean, like, if everyone knew about this website and everyone based their ideas and their decisions off this thing, where it was like, does this company do X, Y, Z? And if they don't do it, people wouldn't buy from them or like use their services. And I feel like that's probably the only way that companies are going to be like, oh damn it, shit, I guess we're going to have to spend billions trying to figure out how not to kill the environment.
But I also think that it's sort of a futile thing to think as well, because I don't see a reality in which because right now, like, the products that people consume, it's completely abstracted away, and you really only get like an illusion of choice, right? Most products you see on the shelves are owned by two companies, Vanguard and BlackRock. Now, you don't really have a choice. Yes, they're different. They're different colors. They have different names. The products are different, whatever. They're all owned by one of the same two companies. You don't get a choice. You don't get a choice. And
surprisingly, more often than not, they come from the same factory.
They usually do come from the same factory. This is something that I learned, but if you ever go to a grocery store and you buy the grocery store brand of whatever item it is, it literally
it's
comes...
like the gross one that's got like the disgusting cheap-looking label, and you're like, ew, I don't want to get that. I want to get the branded stuff because it's better and tastier.
Yeah, but what people don't know is it literally is the branded stuff. It comes from the same exact factory.
Yes.
So people who buy like the branded stuff, you're just buying the same thing as the store brand, like literally, quite literally.
And you're just paying a premium because of the nice color.
Yeah, because of the cool name.
The fact that you can proudly open your pantry cupboard and see a tin of Heinz beans and be like, yes, the original, the best.
I've always sort of like fantasized about a world where like you go to the grocery store and instead of seeing like 30 different types of like children's breakfast cereals, which are all owned by like two companies, you go to the grocery store and there's just cereal and there's one.
Yeah, like it's just like it's shelves and shelves and shelves of like yellow labels, and it's just like cereal, milk, cheese.
Yeah, exactly. Beer. It's just beer. It's just water. Just this, just that.
The thing.
Enough of these brands. What?
That's okay. Before we go back to the eco stuff, you just.
I want to talk about the auto workers strike as well, because I do think that labor strikes are effective in shifting corporate policy as well. Yeah, probably one of the most effective ways to shift corporate policy. Yeah.
So you were talking, you're sick of branded stuff. I hate. See, I go to Primark and I buy all my t-shirts and jumpers and jeans from Primark.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I do that isn't because
explain what Primark is for the audience, by the way.
Okay, Primark is a shop in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Primark is a shop in the UK that basically sells clothes that are like okay. They're like fine. They're like okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it, and they're cheap and they're okay. And the reason why I buy stuff from Primark isn't because I'm poor or because I'm a loser or because I spill stuff on my white t-shirts all the time and I need to get new t-shirts. No, right. It's nothing like that.
These are what you tell yourself to make it okay, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason why I buy stuff from Primark is because it is not branded. It is not plastered with free advertisements for all these companies. It's like a plain black t-shirt, plain black jeans, plain socks.
I'm the same way. I won't wear like a graphic tee or anything unless it's like from like a concert I went to, or from like a highly like local and niche like business that I frequent.
Or
You know
it's
what I mean?
funny and yeah,
Or
or
it's
it's
funny. Yeah.
funny, or
But
it's
usually
like
my
it's
shirts are just like plain and clean and normal.
yeah,
No
like
brands.
see people who walk around with like a hoodie or a t-shirt on that has like 50% of the surface area of this t-shirt is like stupid Nike ticks
Yeah.
or or Gucci or whatnot. It's like
The
I don't
Supreme
I don't like
thing.
it.
You remember the
Oh
Supreme
yeah.
thing? Yeah.
Supreme cool and good. Me love Supreme.
Yeah, people were
It
paying
makes me feel
thousands
so
of
cool.
dollars just for that logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like a status thing, I like get it or whatever, but it's such like a fleeting um it's such like a fleeting and minimal gain that you get
Hmm.
from that. It's like I've spent $500 on these shoes and this handbag and this t-shirt or this hoodie, and like people are gonna look at me and be like, damn, he spent 500 on that thing, and then they're just gonna go about their day. That's like it. Like you're
Yeah.
never a door's not gonna open up for you magically because you've got really cool shoes on.
Well, I think it's sort of there's sort of like a myth in capitalism. This is sort of the one of the ways it operates is I feel like sometimes people don't get to foster like a genuine personality or a genuine I don't know, like ego of themselves.
Identity.
Yeah, their
Yeah.
identity is based on their consumption
What
habits.
other people
Like,
tell them. Yeah, what
yeah,
other people
like
tell them.
what brand of butter do you buy in the store? What brand of jeans do you wear? And like that's your personality. It's like what you buy. You know what I mean? Uh
Yeah.
yeah. And
So
I think that's pretty gay. Not gonna lie. Not
pretty good.
disparaging, not disparaging to my gay listeners. I love you. But it's gay in the bad way. You
Yeah,
know
the
what I mean?
sinful gay.
The
The
sin,
godless gay.
the sinful gay, not the loving two cowboys kissing and embracing gay, but the sinful, evil buying products gay. You know what I mean?
The other thing, so we're
Hmm.
going to talk about the strikes. I want to talk about strikes
Yes,
in UK. See, labour strikes in the UK.
yes.
They
You
are
guys had a
so
train thing recently.
yeah, and
Yeah,
they are so hilariously ineffective and bad
really.
that it makes me disappointed. Like, what do you know? Like, see with the train strike or whatever. Like, people are
Hmm.
like, "Oh, we're getting underpaid. This sucks. We're gonna like do train strikes, right?" And they
Yeah.
interview random people on the street, and the guy's like, "I had to get a taxi. It cost me £60, and I'm
Yeah.
raging. I'm fuming, right?"
Yeah, you should be
And
fuming
all
at the
that.
owners of the train industry for not paying the train workers.
Oh, and not to put my tinfoil hat on or whatever, but I really do feel like the news channels get like paid to put like a to basically put like a bad public image on
Oh, they
campaigns
do.
like this.
They do. The
Yeah,
the, the
because it's
media
just like
the
oh,
media
train
is
strikes again,
yeah. The media
train
like
strikes again. Look at what everyone thinks, and then like all they show is people being like, "This is fucking just do your job. This is stupid," and then
yeah.
I think they fatigue everyone out. Like they'll show the same thing over and over and over again, over and over and over again, so that you're like, "Oh Jesus Christ, more train strikes," and that's how you think. Like, even though you don't know anything about the train strike and the reason for it happening, the fact that it's been showed to you consistently every day for the last 2 weeks, you now
Mhm.
have negative connotations towards it, and
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point.
No, it is.
Jordan.
I think the media definitely has a bias against labor and against unions. And I think that goes across like most countries. You know what I mean? It's the same in the U.S. Like very rarely will like the head of a labor union get like a prime spot interview on like a mainstream news network. They may get like a side interview, like in a non-prime spot of the day. But you bet that the CEO of the company that is like refusing the demands of the strikers or the union workers or whatever, they are getting a prime time spot to sit down and like preach about why they can't do it. You know what I mean? There's a
Yes.
definite
So
bias.
so the reason why I think the train strikes and every single strike that's happened in the UK recently is like poo-poo, feces and dumb and like an insult is because the strike happens because of like a pay disparity. It's like, the pay, like the payment for like our time and our work and our service has been the same for like the last 8 years, and it's like, inflation's outgrown the money that we're getting, so we want more money.
Yep.
And then there's like this back and forth, and by the end of it, like nothing's actually changed. All that's happened is that the company's promised to increase everyone's hourly pay by 40 pence, and everyone's like, yes, good.
Really? They settled for that?
Yes. Well, that's not what. I'm just pulling a number out my head.
Okay.
Okay. I'm telling you right now.
Freak out.
I'm telling you right now. There is like, see the NHS thing, like the NHS strikes or whatever, or people being overworked.
Yeah.
My mum is like an NHS worker. She doesn't work. She doesn't work like horrible hours. She works like normal hours, but she got like a letter through once all that NHS thing was done, and it was like, congratulations, we have decided to increase your pay by 20 pence or whatever. And
Horrifying.
my mum was like, good, great, I'm glad they finally listened. And I was just sitting there like, are you
joking?
Kidding?
Yeah, are you fucking joking?
Like, is that? And the other thing is I remember seeing this news thing. There was this news thing where it was like, we have allocated 2 billion to assist with the issues with the NHS, and everyone's like, woo yeah. And I like went onto Google, right, and I typed in how many people work for the NHS in the UK, and I took that number, right, and then I divided it by like
you did
2
the
billion.
calculations, yeah.
I took that number, I divided it by 2 billion, and then I took that number again and done some more calculations, and it's like, see that 2 billion? That 2 billion would allow the NHS. Sorry, that 2 billion would basically be able to give every single NHS worker an extra like £4 per year or something silly like that.
Amazing.
Or like £4 per month or something. I can't remember.
It's got to be per month. Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Just kind of like, and that's and I'm completely uninformed and I'm an idiot, and someone's probably going to listen to this and like curl their nose up because I'm saying everything wrong. But from what I see with labour strikes, that is everything. That's all that happens.
Well,
it's like
what I'm hearing,
the news comes out and says, oh my god, another strike, and everyone's like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
Get on
and then
with
at the
it.
end of it is, get on with it, you fucking...
Do your fucking job.
Do your job, you wanker.
Yeah.
And then...
if you don't like it, work somewhere else. Yeah.
And then everyone's like, and then at the end of it, everyone's like, it is settled, we will get 12 pence more per hour. And everyone's like, yeah! And that's it.
Well, okay, so based on what you're telling me, like the labor movement in the UK is completely weak and ineffectual and pathetic.
Yeah, just the UK in general. Like,
yeah.
UK's a shit show.
That does kind of sound just like the motto of the UK. Weak, ineffectual.
Classic UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, doesn't really want to stir the pot, but also will happily like die if it means they don't annoy anyone.
Right.
As
well,
the UK.
That is such a far cry because the auto workers, what is it, the UAW, the United Auto Workers Union, they are demanding a 40% pay increase pretty much across the board for all the auto workers, which is a lot more than 20 pence an hour increase. It's that's they're trying to double their salaries. And the CEO of one of the auto companies, I can't remember which of the three it was, but Basically, the UAW, they're specifically making demands towards 3 auto manufacturing companies. And one of them, can't remember which one, their CEO has already agreed to give them like a 21% pay increase. And the union is saying, not good enough. Not enough. We're still going to strike. That's not going to work. They're saying,
we're still going to ruin your profits.
yeah. They're saying, listen, the CEO got a 40% pay increase. Therefore, we're all getting a 40% pay increase. And the company is saying, no. How about 20? And they're saying, no, not enough. Which is good. Like, I think you should. I like that they're sticking to their guns on this. But it's very sad to hear the state of it in the UK, where they get like a 12-cent increase in their hourly pay, and they're like, "We did it, we won."
I mean, I'm probably like blasting it out of proportion, but I'm literally looking at an article right now where it was like, like the rail union rejected a pay offer from train companies of 4%, like of a 4% increase, and that's like crazy that offer's even been put onto the table compared to what you're talking about, where it's like the train company's like, okay, 2%. Does that sound good? 2% increase?
Yeah.
2%? I mean, what's 2% in the grand scheme of things?
Not much.
No, it's like probably, like 1,000 doll hairs. 2% of 100's to 20 on 1,000. The 10,000's 200, and then 40. Yeah, no,
it's nothing. It's like if you make $100,000, a 2% increase is like $200 or something. Or well, no, actually, on $100,000 it'd be $2,000, which it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
It's not.
It's not.
That's mad.
But yeah, no, it's insane because the auto workers are like 40%, and the car companies are like, how about 20? Which is just such a far cry from what I'm hearing on the other side of the pond. But it has been sort of a year of labor, hasn't it been? We've had, in the US, we've had Starbucks workers trying to unionize. We've had a lot of labor movements, big labor resurgence. And I think in the UK as well, even though they're kind of not really making a ton of gains, they're at least trying. At least you guys are trying, you know what I mean? So I wonder, people are becoming a little bit more pro-labor again. I think people are kind of realizing, wait, hold on. Hey, I do labor. Wait, what the fuck? Oh, that's right. I don't own a company. I work at one. What the fuck? I want more money. You know? Which is kind of how you should be thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever seen... And this, I mean, you can confirm or deny this, but I've never seen that kind of action take place or happen outside of labour. Like, see, like office work jobs or like techie jobs. I don't think anyone's ever banded together and been like, we're not doing this anymore.
Well, they should though. They should though, because that's the thing is. It's a culture thing, because I agree with you, because I've worked in finance for a long time, and if I came up to one of my coworkers and I so much as said the word union or organizing, they would
you'd get reported and shot.
They would push a red button under their desk and an alarm would go off. You know,
that police officer would come out of the stairwell. Again,
he'd be like, "I got him. I found him."
I found him again.
Were you the guy who said unionize? And then they'd throw me out. They'd throw me out the window, and I'd fall 13 floors to my death. I'd splat.
It's really disappointing to see. And this is really funny coming from a person who's been unemployed, and to be honest, throughout his life, I'm like 23, and the amount of time that I've been in employment is probably around about a year and a half. that's probably my employment experience.
Yeah.
So take it with a pinch of salt, but it's like really disappointing to see people who basically give their entire life and their time and their whole entire personal sanity to like companies like this, and then don't really see any gain. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we've spoken about this, but like, see all these young whippersnappers who are like job hopping and like making all the boomers angry.
That's what I'm doing now.
Yeah. I'm just like, good,
Yeah.
great. Fuck 'em.
They they love when they sow, but they hate what they're reaping. You know, but I agree. I'm like, good, do it. Like that's how you get a fucking raise. I made the same amount of money working at the same company for 5 years, despite having a title promotion, despite moving to another department that had
despite getting more work.
Yeah, I got a title promotion in the first 3 years at the first department I was working at, which did not correlate to any significant salary increase. It basically was just title alone. And then I moved to a different department because I was like, fuck this. I'm not getting a raise, basically. And I've been here for like 4 years. I moved to a different department, which had some seniority over the department I came from. My pay was the same. And so I was just like, fuck this. And then I went job searching. The very next job I got doubled my pay. Like, I'm not kidding. It's just, I was like,
double your pay and half your responsibility.
Yeah. I was like, why did I work at the same company for 5 years making the same amount of money? I should have just left after 2. I could have doubled my pay like 3 years ago just by leaving. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's insane. But yeah, like that, I feel like people in tech industries and like finance industries, a lot of people who have office jobs, I feel like I think office like work culture, it's just way more taboo to like discuss your salary or to like go against the employer, you know what I mean? And it's like when they discover somebody's going against the employer, the alarms are set off. You know, they're like, we've got a dissenter. And it makes it really hard to like organize or unionize, but I think they should. Like, I think software engineers should unionize. I think accountants should unionize. I think everybody should, really.
I mean, I was getting paid £10.50 an hour to be doing my funny development job, and I like turned to my right and asked the person that I like work with all day. I was like, "How much money do you make?" And the face that they made was like very uncomfortable, and I'm like. I'm just like, no, it's just, it's like, I'm not gonna like scream and cry. Like, I make £10.50. Like, what do you make? And like, what did you make when you started? And it's like, I make $14.50 an hour. And I've been making $14.50 ever since I started. And this person was like a year younger than me. And I was like, huh.
Interesting.
Okay. That's strange. And then the boss man almost caught me talking about it, and then it got shut down pretty quickly, and I got told not to talk about stuff other than work during workplace hours, and I was like, I mean, technically speaking,
I was speaking
that is
about
work related. That is work related.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, big man. I apologise. I won't do it again.
I had the same experience. You did get fired. Maybe it was because they thought you were salting the place. You were gonna unionize. But I had the same exact
single
experience.
Fat ginger man brings company from the inside.
Yeah, he starts handing out cards. Everybody's signing them. What's going on?
What's going on?
What's
this
happening?
Isn't a birthday card.
It's
a rest in peace card.
Send in the
My
security.
condolences to your profits.
All right, calling the Pinkertons as we speak. Calling my own private militia to quell this ginger man and his cards. But I had the same exact experience. I talked to a woman who was like, I think she was like younger than me. She was like 23, 24, something like that, early 20s. I'm late 20s, and so I thought she would be like cool with it, because I don't know, I just assumed that younger people are more relaxed and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
cool,
Like, who cares?
like
Yeah.
yeah, more like
Like, what?
nonchalant.
Like, what are you gonna do with that information?
Yeah, but
And
I found out very quickly that depending on like the work culture it is that you're in, like it does not matter the age of the person you're talking to. Like she like, because I asked her, I was like, oh, how much do you make? They signed me on for this much. This is how much I'm making. How much do you make? And she very quickly like just basically ignored the question and steered the conversation away to something else that was like related to the task she was doing. She like
uh,
obviously did not want to answer. And I was like, what the fuck?
what the
How am I
hell?
supposed to negotiate if you
It's
guys won't spill the tea?
it's just I don't understand. It's like it's such a weird thing, isn't it? Like, what are you gonna do with that information? And even like, see if I say that I make 40K and you make 37K, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're like salty about it, then like I
You go ask for
apologize, but
45K. If that
yeah,
happens,
it's
like
like
that's what my wife did. She got a new job, and like during the interview process, they decided they wanted to hire her on, and they offered her 45K. And then she asked her friends at the company who were working the same position how much they were making, and they said all of them said 55K. And so she
mhm.
came back to the employer and she was like, I was actually hoping more for 55K for this position. And they were just like, okay, we can do that. Like
Yeah, we can do
immediately
it.
got
Yeah,
10 grand more just by asking people how much they make. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like yeah, that 10K is in the grand scheme of things, like that's life changing.
Yeah,
That's like a new that's like an upgrade to your standard of living.
it is.
And all it took was one funny little question.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand why people hold it to the chest so much.
I don't. It's just
People's
like work taboo, but it's like, listen, bruh. Like if I tell you I make this much and you make that much, and you're making less, then you go ask for more. And if I find out that I'm making less, okay, cool. Well, now I'm gonna go ask to make what you're making. Like who? Nobody. You don't lose. I don't lose. What are you talking about? It's a win-win.
I think people just get afraid because they think you're gonna march away to like your boss and be like, Janet's making this much and I'm not making that much, and then like she's
True.
gonna get in trouble.
True. Yeah.
I don't know,
And
but
then the
it's
boss is gonna get mad that Janet's
yeah,
spilling
and
the
fire
tea on
both
her.
of you.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you know what? That's probably it. You have to have a little tact. You have to wink at him and say, I'm not gonna tell him it was you that told me. By the way,
I'm not going to tell them,
I'm
but
not gonna tell him anything.
I'm not going to tell them anything. But what I will do is destroy this company from the inside by stealing small pieces of stationery.
What I will do is lock myself in the boiler room with a mysterious device I brought from home.
I've been
And
working from home for the last week or so on my own project. And
the
I'm bringing it
security
in
guards
today.
will be pounding on the doors, trying to remove me. I've locked it from the inside. Something is ticking in there, in that room with me.
And it's the profit margins on the line. That's
Right.
what's ticking.
That's that's what's ticking. The ticking
No,
is the time to pay up.
uh, I've still see the fact that I said that like throughout my entire life I've probably only been employed for like a year and a half.
Hmm.
That kind of that sobered me up. I was like, oh man, that's sad. And I'm talking about like proper employment. I'm talking about like 8 hour days going to a place to do stuff.
Yeah.
I've probably like I've sat in my room and like done things, but I haven't counted that. So I don't know. But the attitude that people have towards work in the workplace and jobs and money and working for other companies, I don't think I've ever met one person that has like a somewhat sane and balanced idea slash outlook on like the workplace and work life balance and what a job means. Like every single person I've met is like it's always been like weird and unhinged.
Hmm.
Like someone someone, my mother, she keeps on telling me that like you need to start the rat race at some point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So you think a job's a rat race? And it's like, well, while you're working, while you're working your shit job, you can look for a job that you actually want to do. And I'm like, that's not how it works, and you know it. But you're not going to say that that's how it's not. You're not going to tell me that's not how it works, because then that's going to stop me from getting a job, and you want me to get a job so that I get out of the house and make you money.
You know
kind
what
of
I've always...
weird, isn't it?
It kind of is weird. I want to get your opinion on this, because I've always had this crazy idea that some people are okay with basically throwing away like 55 years of their life, because they think that after they die they'll go to heaven. So it's like they think that like, oh, that's fine, like I can throw my life away, it's just my life, like I'm gonna keep living after I die, you know what I mean? So like it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay. Whereas like someone like me who's not totally convinced anything's gonna happen after I die, you're asking me to sacrifice 8 to 9 hours of my day every single day for the rest of my life. I'm like, brother, this is the only life I have. I don't want to give it to you. Like, I'm not convinced something is happening after this. You know.
Also, I should point out it's not 8 to 9. It's more like
9 to
9 to 12.
Yeah,
it's more like 9 to 12. Yeah.
You gotta factor in commuting and stuff too.
Yeah, and the mental anguish that you have after work and then before work. So yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's an interesting point. Sorry, the whole God thing. I mean, it makes sense in a way, but also the other thing that I think might factor into the fact that people are happy to just sign away their time is maybe people just don't have a lot going on, and it's like just something to do.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, I don't have... It's strange, though.
If you ask... Like, there are people I ask in the office, like, what are you doing this weekend? Or, like, what do you like to do outside of work? And the answers I get are just, like... I'm like...
Watch my shows.
Yeah, it's
like watching my shows.
Yeah, I'm glad you come to work, dude, because I don't know, like, what you would do if you didn't have this place. You know what I mean? It's like just nothing, no interest. I mean, usually they like to go play golf or whatever, and I'm like, okay, sure. But like, you can't, if you didn't have this job, would you play golf like every single day and like it? Probably not. Probably get bored of it. But like, that's all they got. They got their shows and they've got like golf or like watching football or something. And that's about it.
Golf is such a strange hobby because like it literally requires like a time, a place, and equipment. Like you cannot do it anywhere. I mean, I guess you could, but it wouldn't be fun.
It's a very expensive
and money.
Sport. Yeah, you have to pay you have to pay every time you play it. It's wild.
Yeah, it's so strange. But like, it's weird though because I don't have anything going on right now. Like I don't do anything. Like,
what are you talking about? Videos. You're on the world famous Garphonomics podcast.
No, but what I'm saying is like I'm not doing anything right now. And like I don't really do stuff during the day other than apply for jobs and be sad. But
that's not true. I've seen you playing video games.
Shut up.
Okay.
But
you're supposed to be making a theme song for the show, by the way. That's a job you can do. You've got a paycheck coming your way if you get that done.
I'll do it right after the episode. And you might, faithful listeners, you might have heard it at the start and or the end of this podcast. If you haven't, then you know what's happened.
That's very exciting. The listeners at home, get ready to maybe hear the new theme song on this episode.
Or maybe not, depending on how I'm feeling.
Depending on how sleepy Ben is after we stop recording.
But like I'm not doing anything right now, but the thought of like going and working 8 hours a day isn't cool, good and excellent, and it isn't something that I would like to do.
No, even it's not something I would like to do.
Even if it earns me cool money and, increases my what do you call it?
Standard of
Oh,
living.
baseline of living, standard of living, yeah.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
Even though I don't know. Does it? Does it improve your standard of living?
Slightly.
It's like, oh, cool, I've got this money, but I don't have time to do the stuff that I would like to do. That this money would help.
I'm going to tell the listeners right now. My salary almost doubled this year. I was unemployed for like 4 months, but when I got my next job in like May, after being let go on the spot the 1st of January, during my receiving my paycheck, my boss was like, "Oh, by the way," because I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, yeah, I got to get working on the invoice for the next one because you were kind of a month late there, pal." And he was like, "Oh, yeah. By the way, don't fill out an invoice. You're not needed anymore." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh." And then I was unemployed for 4 months. But then I got a new job. My pay doubled, okay? And let me tell you what happened to my standard of living. I can eat out at restaurants more now.
Yeah!
I can go get some of the very serious and pressing issues that my car has been having, the weird noises and lights that have been coming on. I finally have been able to afford to take it to a mechanic. This is the amazing changes in my life.
Let's go. And you
awesome.
Get to squirrel more money away to maybe buy something later.
No, I get to start paying my wife's student loans. I get to start making dents in that.
Amazing.
It's pretty cool.
What an opportunity.
I know. And not even by much, by the way. Here's another article.
Yeah, US student loans scare me.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, see, colleges are like, I'm really annoyed with myself because I'm in a weird spot where I want to do web development, right? And I'm applying for all these web development jobs and I'm not hearing anything back.
Yeah.
And down the road, one of my childhood friends dropped out of high school at like age 16 and then went and done a bunch of drugs and drank alcohol and had a mental break and done all that cool stuff. And then one day just waddled into a construction site and said, "Do you have a job?" And they said, "Yep." And then over the course of a year, he got trained on how to be an electrician. And
That's
now
amazing.
he makes like £4,000 a week on like a good week, a busy week.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here with my 4 years of education, just picking my nose, being like, God, I'll hope this £500 lasts me long enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, that is something I feel I'm very grateful for everybody who fell into a trade because you had no other you didn't, like, the thing was everybody told you when you were growing up to go to college, you have to go to college. And then you're like, "Oh man, I'm such a fuck up. I didn't get to college.
I'm such an idiot. I'm so dumb.
Fucked it up. I'm not gonna go anywhere." Well, guess what, pal? The future treated you kindly. Things did not go the way everybody thought. Sort of a flip flop situation happened 20 years down the line.
I think it's always been like that, has it not? Where it's just like all the smart people are just tortured and listen to like the Smiths, and then the guy with the high vis vest has the white monster and the like Porsche Cayman or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
and is living life.
No, for real. Like my wife's family, they work in construction and they have like they have too much money. Like they have too much money. And then it's like they didn't go to college. They went to high school and then they were like, "I'm gonna start building houses."
I'm so annoyed that like my autistic view on life is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, you go to primary school, then you go to high school, and then you go to university, and then you get a job, and then you make lots of money, and then you get another job, and then you make more money, and then you can retire early and fly planes. And that's not happening.
No.
And I'm so annoyed. My little autistic view on life is not true.
Well,
and I'm freaking pissed. I'm pissed at all the people that sold it to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your fault.
Sold it to me.
It's not your fault. Everybody tricked us into doing this. We were tricked into going to college and doing all this shit. Because, yeah, it was like when we were growing up, it was like the whole like neoliberal thing. They were like, you put on a suit, you shake their hand, you get a good degree, you make a lot of money, you rise up, you work hard, you become president of the company. It's like, oh, that's cool. Turns out it's also not real. Not gonna happen. It's a complete
turns out I can't even
fantasy.
Get in the door.
Yeah,
I can't even get in the door to shake the person's hand.
It's a hungover dream from the boomers when they were young, and I guess they could just wander into like the head office of some company, shake some guy's hand, and then own the company.
Like, I waddled, see, there's an industrial estate near me that has some tech, it has some construction, and it has some, like, just business. It's a business estate. And I, like, waddled down there with, like, my CVs printed out because my mum told me, like, go do that. Like, go on, son. Go get that job. And I was like, okay. And I waddled about all these places and knocked on all of the doors and got really strange looks and got let in. And I'm like, hello, you guys hiring? I'm looking for a job. And they're like, do you know what a fucking website is? And I'm like, actually, I'm a web developer, and you know, I'm just wondering, like, if you got it. And I was like, just apply on a fucking website, and also you're not supposed to be here. Who let you in? And I'm like,
how did you get in this building?
The nice guy at the side of the building who was having a cigarette, I convinced him that I worked here. Anyway, can I get a job?
Can I meet the president? I want to talk to the president.
Please, can I give you a firm handshake? Otherwise, I can't leave. I can't say I haven't tried until I give you a firm handshake.
My mom is outside looking through the window, and she will not be satisfied if I do not shake a hand. Can you smile while you do it, please?
Please.
Here's an article.
I don't want to be unemployed.
Here's an article. I've got employment for you. You've got a theme song to write. Article titled, Hello? Hello? Can you take off the headphones, please? Some workers keep headphones on all day to shut out bosses and office prattlers. This is an article by Alyssa Lukepat. That's probably not how it's said. Many bosses this fall are asking employees to spend more time in office, talking up the joys of face-to-face collaboration and workplace camaraderie. Some workers are bringing... That's crazy. Some workers are bringing headphones to tune out all the chatter. Quote, it helps me feel like I'm in my own universe, said headphone wearer Braden Bipley. Okay, so Braden
Bipley, you fucking idiot. You're giving us headphone wearers a bad rap.
Braden Bipley, renowned headphone wearer, age 24, social media manager in Austin, Texas. During the lockdown era, he became accustomed to isolating from noisy roommates with a soundtrack that leaned to Ariana Grande and other pop divas. For whatever reason, he said, I cannot listen to men sing. This is in quotes. This is very interesting. I've got a lot of questions for Mr. Bipley.
Who wrote this? Sarah Expat? What was her name?
Alyssa Lukepat.
Oh, expat. Sorry, Alyssa. Right. Okay.
Alyssa fleeing the government.
So Alyssa's down on the ground getting the real street news.
I think Alyssa
from Mr. Bipley.
I think Alyssa Rugrat literally just went downstairs in her office building and just like pointed at some kid and was like, "Can I interview you? I have an article due tomorrow."
Why are you wearing headphones? And it's like, because I like listening to music. Yeah. But why? And it's like, I like Ariana Grande. And then that's the only thing that she wrote down.
No. Then she wrote down, she asked, for some reason he said, I can't listen to men sing.
Great.
I don't know. That actually makes this whole article, that's probably the most bizarre point of all of this is, for whatever reason, he said, quote unquote, I cannot listen to men sing.
Great. That, like...
Interesting.
I don't know how to... This feels...
What does that mean?
I can't believe I'm putting on my conspiracy hat again, but this feels like some sort of, like, psychological priming, where it's like, this dumb idiot who wears headphones Haha, look at him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna talk about why, like, how stupid wearing headphones in the workplace is, and you're gonna agree to it now because this guy can't listen to men sing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
This is like a hit piece on headphone wearers.
It literally is. That's what this is. It's making fun of headphone wearers. This is some boss or president of a company got really mad that, okay, I finally got people back in the office. I finally forced them into their seats. What's this? They will not talk to me about my golf trip or look at my pictures of my beautiful babe that I keep in my wallet. They're listening to Ariana Grande. Hey, take the headphones out. You're supposed to be in the office to talk to me.
What?
No,
you're
not
slightly
talking to me.
irritated when I tell you to take your headphones off so I can ask you about that report that I know's getting done?
Mm-hmm.
I hate this.
I hate this so much. It's so funny. The real reason they want us back, it's weird. The monetary reason they need us back in the office is because of commercial real estate investments, right? And office equipment investments. These things are all genuinely tied up in a lot of major companies' like portfolios. So they need to force you back into the office for a very clear monetary reason. But I think there's also another aspect where it's like the boss, the president, he's like, this is where I go to talk to people and hang out. Because like they don't actually do any work. They go to work to socialize and hang out with their quote unquote friends. Like this is how they do it.
Yes.
That's what they do all day. Yeah.
Did I tell you about I think I've already told you about the uncomfortable relationship that I had with like my boss at my old job. It's like he's trying to be all friendly with me, but like I just couldn't shake the fact that he held like my financial security in his hands, and I couldn't be friends with him.
Yes. I had a similar experience with my boss. She was like, "Oh, hey, Brad, can I want to schedule a meeting with you. I got to talk to you about something later." And I was like, "Okay." And
you go and throw up in the bathroom 82 times.
I wasn't concerned about it.
2 packs of cigarettes.
I honestly was not concerned about it. I didn't think anything bad was like it was going to be anything bad.
You ride up and down the elevator 82 times in the hopes that the wire might snap, so you didn't have to go.
Yeah, I tried to get arrested by using the stairs. But no, like, so we had the meeting and she was being like really, really friendly and like smiling. She had her camera on. She's like in Florida, so it's like remote. I'm in Texas. She's in Florida. So she's smiling. She has her camera on. It's like, oh, we're friends. Oh, haha, that's so funny. And you did what on the weekend? Oh, that's so cool. Oh, interesting. It's like this where I'm at. Haha. It says here in my report that you missed 2 days of work. It like just complete like change. It's like in my report here, it says you did not sign into the office 2 days last month. What's going on there? And I was able to explain it because there was a reason for it. And I thought that like I put in like a time or request thing on their like online portal. So I thought it was fine. But I guess it didn't sync up with her report. But it was just like going from like laughing and being your friend to like, what the fuck? Explain yourself.
What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
give me one reason I shouldn't pull out my gun and shoot you right now. You piece of shit.
Give me 2 reasons why I shouldn't activate my sleeper agent that I have on you at all times.
Yeah.
It's like I got ostracized. I'm not like antisocial. It's just see all like the weird fake plastic stuff. It like freaks me out, and I have to like bring it up. I try to bring it up in a jokey way. So like every single morning we would have a meeting, and everyone would talk about what they done, what cool shows they were watching, and like, oh, did you see that in the news? Oh, my son went to football. It's crazy. And then they would go straight into the nitty gritty of being like, why are you being retarded and not doing what I told you to do? This is unacceptable. Pull your fucking finger out your ass, right? And like,
only that, pull it out of your ass and put it on the table. I have a knife and I'm going to chop off your finger as punishment.
So you can't do it again.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, so like I would always clam up during these discussions because I just thought it was so alien. Where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, ha, yeah, my son, he scored 2 goals at this thing today, haha. And it's like, yeah, Ben, what team do you support? And I'm like, I don't support any teams. It's like, oh, you have to support a team. And I'm like, I don't. It's just like I don't really care about football. And they're like, haha, that's funny. And then basically what you said, where it's like, why are you not on that thing? You're an
Yeah.
idiot. And I'm like, eh.
Their
And then
their face
one time,
drops. The smile turns upside down in an
mm-hmm,
instant. The
yeah,
eyes drop,
like,
and
yeah,
they
it's
furrow
like,
their brows, and their voice drops, and they're like, "Give me one good reason I shouldn't kill you for what you did today."
yeah, it's like they look at their watch and they see that the 4 minutes of company assigned pleasantries has been finished,
Yep.
and like now it's time to bring the hammer down. And I just hated it. Like they were just kind of like, oh, how you doing? And they're like, Ben, why aren't you talking? And I'm like, because in 3 minutes time you're just gonna tell me how stupid I was yesterday. And I
Yeah.
just kind of want to get to that part so I can get on with my work. And then like it was just deadpan silence, and they were like, "Whoa, that doesn't sound like team player talk." I'm like,
Whoa. Okay.
I'll be,
Somebody woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
and I'm just like,
Uh,
I'll be a team player when you start being straight with me. Stop this.
yeah.
I didn't say that part, but it's just like stop being weird alien freaks. You're not my friend.
Anyway,
So
my throat's getting
the
all fucked up. We gotta wrap this up.
no, we don't. We have to read more about the headphone wearing epidemic.
No, I'm already done with that. That article's done.
Any other cool articles that you've circled that are like 2 sentences?
Yeah. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. I'm literally looking at the newspaper, flipping it around. No. Everything else is boring as fuck. The European Central Bank raised interest rates by a 1/4 percentage point to a record, but signaled the Eurozone. Shut the fuck up. That sucks. I don't want to read that.
Have you been playing any cool video games recently? Have you saw something cool that's interesting that you want to talk about feverishly?
No. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3.
What
Pretty
is that about?
obsessively. And I've
because
finished it finally and was lifted of the curse.
is it like a linear story RPG, or like, what is it? Or is it like a turn-based thing? I haven't seen anything about it.
Both. I mean, it's like it's basically just like D&D 5th edition, the video game. You know what I mean? So it's like
Nice.
yeah. So it's like there's an overarching story, but like the outcome of everything like hinges on what you do. So I think somebody said there's something like 15,000 different endings that can happen, which is insane
What?
to me. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. There's like I don't know if it's 15,000, but there's over 1,000 different endings depending on what you do during the story. And who you're able to save, who you aren't, who you kill, who you don't, who you work with, all this stuff.
I hope they didn't do that stupid cop-out thing that like Fallout done, when it's like, oh, there's like 17 different endings to Fallout, and all that happens at the end is it's like, the NCR got took to power, and Kaiser's Legion is destroyed, and that's like one ending, and that's like, and then you go play through the whole game again, and it's like, Kaiser's Legion rose to power, and the NCR were destroyed, and that's the 17 different endings.
No, I tested it. Because I wanted I saved during the final boss fight of Baldur's Gate 3, like during the fight, because I kept dying. So I saved during it, and right after that boss fight, you make like a major decision about like what you're gonna do with this. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you make a major decision that has
Do
a
you
direct
A, kiss the
outcome.
dragon on the mouth, or B, stab it in the heart?
There are apparently, depending on how you play, you can have even more options than the two I was presented with. at the end. But yeah, apparently there's secret additional options at the end of the boss fight that I don't know about. But I was presented with 2, and I reloaded and I did both of them, and there were 2 different cutscenes and 2 different endings. So
significantly different enough
yes,
to be considered different endings.
completely different endings. Yeah,
Epic. Very cool.
Like the world is irreparably changed in an entirely different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just I don't like games that try and push that as a feature. Like Dishonored's like, man, you just like 6 different endings, and the 6 different endings are like, you chose to save the princess, very cool. Now the queen will live forever, and then it's like you chose to kill the princess, and now we have went into darkness, and then the game ends. It's like great.
Well, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 was kind of like that, but you got a really cool cutscene though, showing whether or not you decided to be benevolent or malevolent to an entire city of people and what happens to them based off of your choice. Yeah. So it's cool.
That was you done that. I've just fell down a rat. So
it was fun. I liked it.
I set up a server for Project Zomboid, and like me and one other person only play it, which is really sad, and now we've gotten sick of it.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I was doing is ages ago there was like a roguelike sale on Steam, and I like roguelikes. It's just most of the time all of these games have some sort of psychotic learning curve that makes it really difficult to get into. And then maybe we should end this episode with a video game recommendation.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's end the episode with a video game recommendation. What are you recommending? Hit the pen first.
Noita.
A roguelike.
I think so.
Yep, I think it's a roguelike.
It's a 2D platformer where you're a wizard and you go into a cave and you shoot monsters and you find wands and you make your own wands, and you can make super crazy overpowered wands, or you can make funny little wands that fart out enemies. What's your recommendation? Is it Baldur's Gate?
I'm going to recommend, my video game recommendation is going out there and getting some strange. Get out there, go to the bar, and fucking get at it, boys. Just kidding. I'm not like that. This ain't that kind of show. My game recommendation is, Baldur's Gate 3. It's pretty good. It is a huge time sink, though. I will say. A huge time sink. A huge waste of time, some might say. And I would agree, but I finally finished it, and I've been lifted of the curse of having to play it anymore. I got the ending. I'm done. It's over. Finally.
That reminds me, I need to complete Planescape Torment.
Yes, that is one of my favorite games of all time. Listeners, if you like Baldur's Gate 3, go play Planescape Torment. It is a video game from like 20-something years ago. It's not going to look as good, sorry. You're not going to get to fuck every single person you meet. But it's really good, and it's kind of similar. Similar idea.
But there's more to do. You wouldn't think, but there is actually more to do in these old games. A surprising amount.
These old games are
a lot of interactivity within the world that you wouldn't actually realise. Like, yes. I'm pretty sure I forgot to loot a chest in the prison in Planescape Torment, and then I paid off one of the morticians to wheel me in as a dead body, and then I just snuck back in and got my stuff, and then I ratted that guy out to the prison guards. And then I snuck back in, and he was in prison, and he was like, "What the fuck, bro?" And I was like, sorry.
Yeah, he's like, "Why'd you do this?" Yeah, Planescape Torment is amazing. One of the greatest games ever made. Very similar to Baldur's Gate, just a lot A lot less cringe. I'm sorry, Baldur's Gate 3 is a little bit cringe, and it's a lot less cringe than Baldur's Gate 3. It's a little bit more sort of gritty, and not everybody looks like a handsome Chad. In fact, most people, their teeth is like falling out of their heads and they're insane. Yeah. So, but it's a great game. Very similar. I would recommend. I changed my recommendation. Fuck Baldur's Gate 3. Go play Planescape Torment. You get the similar
Okay, I've
experience.
changed my recommendation as well.
Yeah.
Go play Planescape Torment and tell me how it is, because I'm never going to complete it.
Yeah. You don't get to create your own character or spec your own characters, but you do get to form a party, and it's very much like Baldur's Gate 3. Good game.
You can't, but you do get to build your character into any sort of character that you want. It's just you can't choose how hot or sexy he is.
True. Well,
He's just a gross dead man.
Oh, that's true. You can set
You
his
can make him a
stats how you. Yeah, you
Arrow
can.
boy.
That's right. Yeah.
Lover.
Love it. I would always make him a mage. Anyways, well,
melee.
Well, it becomes extremely overpowered, especially if you don't have a party with you in that game. Because the way that Planescape Torment, like the XP works in that game, is that it's divided amongst your party members. But what I would do is I would collect the party members, and then I would go to like some bar, and I would be like, hey, everybody, wait here. I'll be right back. And then I would play the entire rest of the game solo. And all of the XP...
Does your reward scale? Aye.
Yeah. So all of the XP would just go straight to my character and not to the party members.
Good.
So you'd become like a god. And if you went the mage route, you just have like ungodly D&D spells. You like just annihilate the final boss. Like you're some kind of like a deity. It's pretty cool.
Roll the outro music.
All right, hit the outro music. Thanks for listening to the world's best official Planescape Torment based podcast.
I'm gonna look for a job.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
look for a job after you finish the job of making the music for the Garphonomics program.
And if the music isn't here, then you know what's happened.
Yep, I've killed Ben for failing to perform his duties, and you'll never hear from him again.
Good night, Fats.
Good night. Sleep tight.
Bye, Fats. Fatty fat.
Okay.
Lovely.
All right, stop
Patreon. Fat.
Bye.